tree bath, anyone? The temperature is really starting to drop now, so I'm getting out of here. Jay is not happy because you might wake up and you're sideways or something. It might be that it's hideously cold. It might be that it's horrible, but I'm not going to eat it. That'd be foolish. Okay, so I'm back in Hathersage at the winter time this time, January the 11th. I last came here in September, so I've not really done much winter camping before either. We're going to do some tree identification, but this time using like the bark and buds on the trees rather than the leaves. So we're going to go back, look at some of the trees we looked at last spring, and we're going to identify them by their buds. So I'll show you what different buds look like for the different trees we saw last year. Just got my tea on the go, got my water boiling. I've not got much gas left in this one, but I'm trying to use it up before I move on to my next one. A cup of tea, a pot noodle, maybe some other snacks. It's looking really nice. It's not supposed to rain for the duration of my stay, but it is going to go down to about -2 at some point. So I don't know what it's going to be like. I've got a couple of sleeping mats. Ideally I want it to be up off the ground and have like a camping bed, but didn't really have time to get one. But we'll see how that goes. It might be that it's hideously cold. It might be that it's horrible, but it's also going to be quite fun. I'm not going for long, only 2 nights. So anyway, what I'm planning to do is do some more filming, probably along the same walks that I did last time during June, and we can see the difference between what it was like in spring, summer, and what it's going to be like in winter. So back up at one of my favourite spots at the top of the hill. What I'll do is I'll play some footage side by side of what this was like in spring as well, just for the contrast. Remember all these sycamores? They're all completely bare now. All this was under a canopy, wasn't it? I remember coming up here after walking down past the church because it was really hot. The sun, you probably can't see that well because of the glare, you know, just about to set, so I haven't got much daylight left. Just wanted to come up here and relax for a bit before, you know, getting ready for the cold, dark night that follows. So yeah, hopefully I'll do a few compare and contrast shots so you can see just the difference. It's still a beautiful place though, isn't it? The temperature is really starting to drop now, so it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. So it's just gone 4 o'clock, the sun's literally just dipping down behind that mountain now. So I don't have much daylight left, and it's starting to get a lot colder, as I previously said. So as soon as that's gone down behind that mountain, I'm going to head back to camp, try and get warm, get my warm stuff on. It's quite early actually to be thinking about sort of going into bed, but it's going to be dark soon, and there's not much point in me hanging around outside the tent without anything to sit on. It's just nice, isn't it? So it's about 8 o'clock. It's 2 degrees Celsius at the moment. There's a couple more degrees for it to fall down to 0. It doesn't actually get to -2 like I thought. I was just looking at the feels like temperature instead. So, I mean, that next 2 degrees that's going to fall by could make a huge difference, but I seem to be holding out okay so far. I mean, it is cold, but when I'm up off the ground on my sleeping mats, it's not too bad. I've got plenty of socks on, so my feet aren't too bad. So, yeah, it's going okay, but we'll see what it's like when it reaches the maximum minimum temperature in a couple of hours. So morning. That wasn't the best night's sleep I ever had. I was warm enough with the sleeping bag, so it wasn't actually the cold, it was more I just couldn't really get comfortable. I seemed to be awake more often than not. I did have quite a few different dreams, so I think I was having some sporadic sleep throughout the night, but definitely didn't get more than a few hours. So it was about 9:15. I got up a little later than I intended, because there's only so much daylight, but I still have some time to go over some of the same ground from the June video. and we'll get to some twigs and buds and tree bark and try and identify a few trees. I'll also try out the new mic I've got for my action cam to see if that gives some better sound quality. Right now just having a coffee and trying to get something to eat before I get myself ready to go out walking. So I'll see you then. Oh, I also forgot to mention I saw a pair of jays when I went down to refill my water bottles, so that was cool. They're nice looking birds. Also there's a pair of Tawny Owls which I seem to hear all year round here. I really like the kind of noise they make. It's quite relaxing and a little bit spooky too. So yeah, you can already see it's quite different. And this oak wood that we're about to approach, they're all bare this time, although it still looks quite magnificent. So what we'll do is we'll go across the same walks we did last time and we'll have a look at some of the trees. I can already identify sycamore by its bark and its buds, as well as a few more, so I haven't had a go at rwy'n yet, but we'll see. So yeah, there aren't as many hours of daylight in winter obviously as there are in summer, so I only have a few narrow windows to go and film. Also, there's quite a few walkers about and I don't really want to accidentally film someone without their permission, so I may be stopping and starting quite a bit. So we'll see how it goes. And that's that holly tree from before. It's actually really warm when you're wearing a lot of layers and the sun's out. Right. So, what have we got going on here? So let's have a look at these buds. Okay, so they're kind of alternate and on different sides. Colour of the twig is kind of light grey. And we've got dark coloured, kind of crimson buds on the sides. So my guess is that this is rwy'n, since it was quite prominent last time, wasn't it? We've got an oak here, still with some leaves on. Let's get a good look at those. It's kind of struggling to focus a little bit, but kind of quite different, more knuckly. Go for there, that's another rwy'n. Can you see? I'll also put some more information in afterwards. Yeah, so it looked like we had a whole row here of new rwy'n saplings that must have been planted a couple of years ago or what have you. Another holly bush. No, this is sessile oak, or is it peduncular? Pendicular? I do not quite know yet. Go with this as being another. No, that isn't rwy'n actually. I don't think so by those leaves. Okay. You have different kinds of buds. Some are more kind of forked or pronged. Others are just one singular with a few buds poking out. They're either opposite or alternate. It'd be cool if I could do a side-by-side video comparing this to the footage from June, wouldn't it really? Do you remember when all that bracken was really high? It's almost as high as me at points. Now this is a lot more open now, but it's very muddy. Quite different. I might go up here. It's a bit like quicksand, that. Yeah, you can see how much more open it is. It was here a couple of years ago that I saw a little deer just right about here. kind of ran off as soon as it was aware of my presence, but I just managed to see it running away from me. Whoa, this is a bit treacherous. Oh dear, what have we got here? Okay, you see the difference there. I'll get back to you on that one is. Oh yes, I remember this bit. I wonder how well this is recording the waterfall sounds. Let's go and have a look. There's the old plunge pool. Don't fancy falling in there. Oh, this is so different. All around here was all built up and green. Now it's... Yeah, I've never been here before in the winter months, so this is quite new for me. The same but very different. Yeah, we've got these that are sort of light grey coloured buds. Again, alternate, not opposite. I'm not sure on that one. Still beautiful though, isn't it? Okay. Right, what have we got here? Alternate green buds. See how that... This is normally white, isn't it? It's gone kind of orange amber now. So that must be a silver birch. Can you see? Nice copper kind of orange colour in the winter though. Yeah. That was the main three trees we saw here, wasn't it? Birch, rowan and oak. Let's carry on anyway. Another oak. I'll also take some little samples of buds and twigs so I can show you what to look out for. There we are. Rowan. Right. What was this? Still got its leaves on. It looks like it was a beech tree to me. I don't think it's older. Yeah, I'm fairly confident that that's beech. We'll have a look and I'll let you know. So, you know, by the end of the winter and another spring, you should be a lot more adept at identifying these trees. Oh, got a plastic bottle over there. It's kind of a bit swampy, but I don't really want to leave that there, even though it's not mine, so let's get that. Oh dear. Things we do for nature, eh? Let's get rid of that. I don't want that there for hundreds of years. Possibly leaching into the ground soil. Coke Zero Cherry. Is there a date on it? Oh, there we go. October 2021. Not as old as I thought then. Let's get rid of that. I'll take it back to the recycling point at the campsite. Probably all the stuff that people have thrown into the undergrowth in the spring, summer months is now becoming apparent because of all the trees coming off the leaves. Yeah, that makes sense. Got some fungus here. Let's get a zoom in on that. And I can tell you what it is. I'm not going to eat it. That'd be foolish. I don't know if this oak tree. The buds on an oak are a bit more clubbed, can you see? I don't know if that's focusing too well. You know, knuckly, multiple, looks like a kind of tri-bud on top, sort of three together. It actually like makes the environment look a lot smaller. Another oak. Now I did forget my measuring tape, otherwise I would have tried to have a good measure to guess the age of some of these trees, but it's always next time. I also don't know how well this mic is going to do at catching my voice, but there's Stanage Edge in the distance there. So I'm not really seeing any trees we haven't previously just looked at yet. I think there's that older down by the river further up, isn't there? Rowan. Silver birch. Do you know what? I don't think that other one was beech. Oh. A glove left behind. Doesn't bode well. Or is it pointing at something? We're pointing down to the ground. Yeah, let's ignore that, shall we? Yeah, I'll get some decent, nice footage of this route that I went on last time. And then we'll put some sort of infographics in there to sort of tell you what to look out for. Ah, we've got catkins on this one. You see. There's a few walkers up there, so I'll just be careful here. Well, in any case, I'm going down by the river, so if I can get across easily enough without falling into the water, because the level is probably a bit higher at this time of year, isn't it? We have had quite a bit of rainfall previously to this. There are ways up in the distance. Should be able to nip down and get across. Just very respectful of people's privacy. It's one thing to film nature and some trees and landscape, but I don't want to film people without their permission. So I don't really want them on the video either, because I want it to be more nature oriented. Right, now am I going to be able to get across here? Let's see. Try not to fall in and lose all my footage downstream. I think I can do it. Yeah. Right. Yep, there we go. Wasn't too bad actually. Wow, that bracken's completely flat now, isn't it? It was as tall as anything before. Here we come up on the mill pond. Let's see if I can get up there without getting too muddy. Ooh. Oh dear. Yep. I remember I kept saying that this water wasn't very appetising. That's not quite what I meant to say. I meant to say inviting. Why would it be appetising? I'm sure I've said it at least twice. Oh wow, it looks a lot clearer actually than I'm used to. Good, those two walkers are still up by there. They've not finished coming down the hill yet. So let's go into this. Oh wow, look at that. Don't think I'm going to have time to go to Stage Edge, but still, oh, that's nice, isn't it? Mic a bit closer, it's a little bit far away. There we go. They probably won't be coming this way because it's a bit off the beaten track, but we'll see. In any case, I'll just stop filming. Again though, this part was mainly oak, rowan and birch again. Oak. What have we got here? See those grey buds? Alternate again. I don't know. You'd think this would get easier with time, wouldn't you? This was the high road and the low road, wasn't it? Didn't I take the high road last time? So let's take the low road this time. Ooh. Bit riskier than usual. How am I going to do this? There we go. I didn't happen to perish, so that's good. Touch wood. Still time though, don't worry. Up here was the rock, what looks like a whale. Now you might remember this waterfall from last time. It was not quite as spectacular as this. It's a bit more roaring, isn't it? Oh, old woodland up there. Not much has really changed. It's a really nice spot. So that is pretty much it for this bit. Just wanted to show you these. Kind of three-pronged, quite knuckly, lots of small buds on it. I'm guessing... Do you know, I don't know about this one. I'll get back to you about it. So we're going to go back across this dangerous river. Go back across here. There we go. Through the gate that I complained about last time. Ooh, it's actually on properly. There's another missing glove. It oddly doesn't match the other one. Something peculiar is going on, I'll wager. Oh, this is very different. A lot more open plan, isn't it? This was actually, though it doesn't look that steep, was actually pretty tough to climb when it was that really hot day. It's one of those really long kind of steep gradients, isn't it? Yeah, do you remember when all this bracken was nigh past my waist? Now it's completely flat. That's that oak that I used to stop and rest under every now and then. Certainly quite different in the winter time. I think there were cows in this field last time, weren't there? There's the chapel just over there in the distance. Let's get up to the top of this ridge though. Yeah, well, some good footage anyway, to compare and contrast. No matter what time of year, it's such a beautiful place. I don't think I'll ever get tired of coming here. You know, when I'm an old man, if I make it that far, I'd like to think I'd come back here every now and then as well. That's not to say that I won't go to new places and there won't be other sort of countryside locales that I'll fall in love with also, but I just know that I'll keep coming back to this one. I suppose it's one thing winter camping, when the coldest it gets to 0, and another thing entirely in deeper winter, where it might get down to negative figures. That's our Sycamore Grove just up there. Let's get down this path to the campers only bit. Okay, got a jay up there that doesn't seem too happy about me being here, so I think I'm going to move on. I was just looking at this tree, trying to figure out what this one was. It might have been the one that I thought was domestic plum last year, but I'm getting out of here. That jay is not happy. So this is what I incorrectly identified last time as a sweet chestnut. It's not at all. As far as I'm aware, it's a beech tree. It was pollinated. You see, you've got these beech nut casings on here. So, sweet chestnut it was not. Definitely a beech tree. And this is hawthorn, probably the gnarliest of trees. I seem to always see it with bits of sheep's wool on. Branches seem to grow quite low down to the ground. But yeah, okay, get a good look at that. Come on, focus. And here we have the one from last year, which I couldn't identify. You know, the one that had all the spider's webs or insect casings on. We've spent a good 6 months trying to identify that. It's been postulated that it's wild cherry. So maybe now I've got a bit more of a good look at it. I can put together the leaves with the colour of the bark, the size, shape and colour of the buds. Oh yeah, see, it's sort of broken down off that one, hasn't it? Get and have a look at it. So 10 to 5 on my last day here camping, winter camping. Only staying 2 nights, but just boiling my chocolate pudding in a bag, so I'll have that before I get into the tent. It's still pretty light, you know, got a good half an hour left-ish, so it's actually light for a little bit longer than you might think. But I didn't sleep very well last night, so I'm already feeling pretty tired, so I think eat some nice hot food and settle down, and probably won't be long till I fall asleep. So that's good. But yeah, over and all, the experience has been a lot better than I thought. I've had enough underneath me, so I'm not coming up really cold through the ground. I had a decent sleeping bag. I've never really had to wear my gloves at all, so it's been okay. It's been good. It's been fun to get out here, and I really appreciate coming out here every so often. And more than anything, it's shown that it's not just confined to spring and summer. I can do this all year round if I want to just get away and get into nature for a bit. So yeah, overall I'm pretty pleased with the experience. There's still more gear I could bring, or lighter gear, just to make it easier, but one thing at a time. A bit nippy at times, but doable, definitely doable. So yeah, don't rule it out if you're umming and ahhing about it. But what I would say is, if you're not sure and you really don't have great equipment, go somewhere in a car or somewhere nearby, so if the worst does come to the worst and you're just too cold and it's unpleasant, you can get into the car or go home or what have you. I wouldn't come out somewhere quite remote if you don't drive, just in case you can't really hack it and you need to go somewhere warm and you don't have that option. Yeah, but get the right kind of sleeping bag and make sure you're several layers up off the ground. Wear multiple layers of clothing and you should be okay. Obviously I've not done this at a time when it's a lot colder, so that's yet to come. That could be a lot worse for me, but turns out I didn't need a camping bed. I didn't need to spend extra money on that. I actually found another inflatable sort of camping mat just thrown away in the bin, and I've inspected it. There doesn't seem to be anything wrong with it. Maybe the pillow doesn't quite blow up anymore, but there's nothing wrong with it. So now I've got one on the bottom, a smaller one in the middle, and then that, new/old one on top. So I've actually got 3 layers. They do slide around quite a lot when you're trying to sleep, so it's still something I need to sort out, because you might wake up and you're sideways or something. But other than that, pretty successful, and I'd definitely do it again.